Hi there, my name is Chris Llewellyn. I'm one of the facilitators from Rafi.ki, the global online learning community. I've just spent the last week at the Stockholm Challenge Awards with my colleagues Trina Peterson and Tammy Nelson, because we've been nominated as one of the finalists for this prestigious set of IT and Development Awards. And we thought it might be quite a nice idea to let anyone who's interested know exactly how we got on with these awards and what we got out of them. So I'd like to, that's what the reason for this podcast is all about, really. Before we went, Tammy, Trina and I went and had a long chat with our Chief Executive, Henry Warren, about what we really wanted to get out of this event. And the main three things we came up with were, firstly, we wanted to introduce new teachers and schools to Rafi.ki. Secondly, we wanted to share best practice with all the other finalists and all the other people who'd be there. And thirdly, we also wanted to identify potential partners that we could work with. Previously we've worked with other charities including MSF and Plan UK. It would be great to identify some more. So I'll just go through these individually and tell you how we really got on. In terms of meeting new teachers and schools, it was a fantastic event. There were 150 people at the gala dinner from 52 different countries, and of these people, actually a surprising number were actually individual teachers. So myself personally, I ended up chatting, had a great chat with a Buddhist monk from Thailand, near the Lao border, and he ran a school with internet access, and hopefully we'll be able to involve them in Rafi.ki. There were also teachers there from Italy, Sweden, and all over the world, so hopefully we'll get quite a few of those direct contributors taking part in our community. Also at the event there were a whole bunch of other NGOs who either were or had direct contact with large networks of schools. Some of these were telecentres, which is not something we've really used much before, but telecentres are basically ways of where schools, communities are given access to IT that they wouldn't otherwise have. If they don't have direct computers in homes, etc., they are able to go to these large computer setups where they have total access to the internet. And we really think we might be able to work with quite a few of these guys from Bulgaria, Russia and Sri Lanka and elsewhere. So I think it would be a great way to enable people without that much internet access to our online community. So that would be great. Yeah, so in terms of meeting new schools, it was fantastic. It was an incredible event, and the only issue is we almost met too many. So it's a real issue, a hassle trying to find the time and trying to work out how these partnerships have been developed, but I think that's obviously a fantastic problem to have for us. In terms of sharing best practice with people, again, because there was such a huge and diverse selection of finalists, it's really difficult to decide to sum up everything. So I thought I'd just go for just one and just tell you how we got on with what we shared best practice with one particular organisation. And that was WIMPS, and that stands for Where Is My Public Servant, and they're quite a small community-led NGO from Belfast in Northern Ireland. And they were represented at the Stockholm Challenge by their project manager Ben, and Chris and Nathan. And Chris was 15 and Nathan was 16 years old. And they took a real, incredibly inspiring attitude to the whole thing. They were totally involved. They were involved in all the questions and answer sessions, and it was really inspiring to have them there. Also, one other thing that they were doing throughout the week was they were doing a video blog, where they were making sure that all the guys back home were able to interact or be able to keep up to date with what they were doing in Sweden. And that's what's really given us the inspiration for this, and to generally interact with all our stakeholders. So yes, we've stolen ideas from WIMPS already, but I think there's much more we can share with them. We really hope to develop this relationship. In terms of potential partners, it's exactly the same thing. There were loads of guys there, so it's really difficult to go through everyone. But we'll just stick to one, and that is the Container Project. And the website there is www.container-project.net. And they were represented in Stockholm by Mervyn, who was a guy who actually won the educational category, and I think it's probably fair to say that he was probably the most popular winner for the entire award ceremony. But the Container Project is basically a transport container which has been adapted into an IT centre, which is based in Clarendon in Jamaica. And they were a really inspiring bunch of guys, and it looks like they do some stuff which I think would fit really well with Rafi.ki. They do some fantastic art work with disadvantaged kids and all sorts of other things which we think would fit really well with Rafi.ki. So one partnership which we think we'll be able to really develop. So that's basically where we are. Yeah, so from that, Stockholm, as you can probably tell, was a real blast. There was a lot out of it. We wish we'd actually had more time to see Stockholm itself, because we were sort of charging around the entire time, but that was great. In terms of the actual organisation of the event, we think it was great, and so the sheer number of people and the diverse finalists was a real credit to the organisers. The one issue was that we feel that it was slightly more user-led, and that because there were so many interesting guys there, it would have been great to have even more opportunities to sort of meet everyone and interact on our own terms. But that's a really minor quibble in what was otherwise a fantastic event. So thank you very much.